Oh, what's this? This right here, man. This is just a 100K plaque. You know, we reached 100K. We finally did it. It's been a long journey. I just want to thank everybody that's liked, subscribed, watched the videos, man. We're going to keep bringing you these stories. Persistence is key. It's your boy JC Stunted Growth. Let's get it. Yes, sir.
Devin Armani Booker, born October 30th, 1996. There was a moment, brief but loud, when Devin Booker was being talked about like the next Kobe Bryant. High-level footwork, deadly mid-range, and supposed cold-blooded killer instinct. He had just dismantled the defending champion Lakers in the first round, dropped a 40-point triple-double in the finals, and looked like a player who wasn't just putting up numbers, but finally pushing towards something greater, something he often showed he could become. By all accounts, Devin Booker looked ready to take the throne. That was 2021. Fast forward 4 years and Devin Booker is still scoring, still smooth, still averaging over 25 points per game. But something's changed. Or maybe it never changed and people are only now starting to notice. Despite his efficiency and offensive polish, there's never been a stretch in his career where he was considered undeniable. He's loved by teammates, praised by analysts, and marketed like a franchise superstar for years. But if you zoom out, his presence rarely shifts anything. He's more respected for his skill than feared, as players understand what it takes to reach the offensive level he has. Much more admired than impactful. He puts on a clinic, then disappears when it counts the most to this point. And that's what makes the Bradley Beal comparison so hard to ignore. Another bucket getter, another smooth operator, another high-paid star who never quite proved he could lead a winning team. Not through numbers, but results. Booker will go down as a better player than Beal, but that doesn't mean he'll mean more in the end. In fact, the way things are trending, their career can almost mirror each other in impact. The Suns gave him everything: a supermax contract, a Hall of Fame point guard in Chris Paul, 2 superstar running mates in Kevin Durant and Bradley Beal, not to mention DeAndre Ayton, a #1 pick big man, 3 different head coaches, a roster built around his game, and yet they continue to fall short and Booker continues to fall with them. He's been the #1, the #2, and now the ghost of the player we thought was coming. He's 28, in his prime, but the clock is ticking louder every year. He hasn't flamed out, is not a bust, he hasn't vanished completely, but for someone once seen as next up, his relevance is starting to fade for these reasons. What happened? Let's talk about it. It's your boy JC Stunted Growth. Let's get it, man. Take a minute to like, subscribe, and comment on who I should do next. Devin Booker is a 6'6" shooting guard from Grand Rapids, Michigan who took an unconventional route to stardom. The son of former NBA player Melvin Booker, he grew up with basketball in his blood but wasn't always seen as elite. After a standout senior season at Moss Point High School in Mississippi, Booker committed to the University of Kentucky, joining one of John Calipari's most stacked rosters. As a 6-man, he showed glimpses of a future NBA scorer, averaged 10 points in just 21 minutes per game, and helped the Wildcats reach the Final Four. He declared after 1 season and was selected 13th overall in the 2015 NBA draft by the Phoenix Suns, a team desperate for a new face of the franchise. What followed was nearly a decade of steady statistical rise, all-star appearances, and 1 trip to the finals. But as his career matured, something in the narrative stopped growing. Stunt #1, franchise cornerstone by default. Drafted to a rebuilding team with no clear identity, he was handed the keys early, not because he was ready to win, but because there was no one else. From the moment he dropped 70 in a game at just 20 years old, the narrative began writing itself. But looking back, that performance, like much of Booker's early career, was more spectacle than substance. They lost that game and would go on losing for years. Yet Devin Booker became the face of the franchise anyway because someone had to be. This is why the Beal comparison first takes root. Like Bradley Beal in Washington, Booker found himself on a team that gave him the green light, max deals, and endless scoring opportunities without ever holding him to a winning standard. He became known for skill, not leadership, and numbers, not moments. Physically, he's a mirror of Bradley Beal. 6'4", or a small 6'5" at best, without explosive athleticism or elite strength. Booker's game, like Beal's, is all polish, footwork, shot creation, mid-range touch, and like Beal, that earned him respect amongst hoopers but rarely changed the outcomes. As the franchise guy, Booker wasn't bad, he just wasn't that guy. For years, Phoenix hovered around irrelevance, piling up lottery picks while Booker's averages crept upward. Like Beal, he wasn't wasting away, he was producing, but it was quiet, unthreatening. What's clear now is that Booker, for all his skill, never made Phoenix better on his own. His career only took a leap once Chris Paul arrived, much like how Bradley Beal's best stretch came next to a healthy John Wall. In both cases, the co-star brought structure while the scorer stayed in his comfort zone. This early period revealed the truth. Booker, like Beal, wasn't a culture changer. He was an elite talent with no gravity, a centerpiece because no one else stepped up, a franchise star by default. Stunt number 2, the myth of ascension. The turning point in Devin Booker's career was supposed to be 2021. He finally had a complete roster, a Hall of Fame point guard in Chris Paul, a young big in DeAndre Ayton, and a competent coach in Monty Williams. The Suns reached the NBA Finals and Booker played well, enough to shift public perception. But that moment didn't last. Phoenix didn't win, they haven't been back, and the longer Booker's career plays out, the more that finals run looks like a blip instead of a breakthrough. This was supposed to be where Booker leveled up. Instead, much like Bradley Beal after John Wall's decline, Booker's arc flattened. His numbers stayed sharp, but his game didn't evolve. The leadership wasn't there, the defensive strides never came, and the pressure of becoming a true franchise centerpiece never seemed to weigh on him. He was still marketed like a superstar, but in truth he had already peaked. Booker continued the trend that Beal built. High scoring, low consequence. Both averaged over 25 points per game for years, but neither produced seasons that shifted the power structure of the league. No MVP buzz, no All-NBA first-team selections, no defining playoff series where they were clearly the best player on the floor. Their talent was evident, but their ceiling was quietly capped. The scary part, Booker is better than Beal, but it might not matter. They share the same mold, skill guards without dominance. Players who never physically control games, whose best seasons still leave fans asking, and what did it lead to? 2021 should have launched a new tear in Booker's career. Instead, he plateaued. And like Beal, once the illusion wears off, what's left is just another scorer with empty points. Stunt number 3, the Phoenix collapse. Devin Booker was handed the best roster of his career in 23-24. Kevin Durant, Bradley Beal, a new owner willing to spend, and full offensive freedom. He was no longer asked to carry the Suns, just lead them. Instead, he faded. Booker didn't have to become a third option, he was still in control. He ran the offense, took the big shots, and logged major minutes. But what Phoenix needed wasn't just scoring, it was leadership, consistency, an alpha personality with the game to back it up, and impact when it counted most. And Booker didn't deliver, again. He missed time with injuries early, but even when healthy, the version of Booker that took over games in 2021 felt long gone. In the playoffs, he shrunk. The Suns were swept by a Minnesota team that looked tougher, more together, and more purposeful. Booker averaged under 21 points per game on 40% shooting. No dominance, no presence, no spark. It felt like watching Bradley Beal in Washington, capable but never commanding. What makes it worse is how much Phoenix invested in him. A supermax contract, full roster control. The franchise marketed him as a killer, but his play didn't back it up. Once again, he was a volume scorer on a team that couldn't win. And once again, fans were left wondering if Booker had already peaked. In 24-25, his team didn't even make the playoffs and were one of the biggest disappointments in the league, if not the biggest. Now at 28, the question isn't whether he can score, it's whether he can elevate a team. And so far, the answer is trending no. He's not a bust, he's not washed, but he's not what they said he was either. Just like Bradley Beal before him, Booker's reputation might always be a step ahead of his results. And in a league that measures greatness by postseason moments, his silence has been deafening. All in all, Devin Booker was supposed to be different. The natural scoring instinct, the scoring polish, the Kobe comparisons, but with each passing season, the reality grows harder to ignore. He might not be built to lead a winning team. Like Bradley Beal before him, he became a franchise face by default, not because he changed anything. He's produced, has been paid and promoted, but hasn't delivered the same impact top stars are remembered for. At 28, the time is now to rewrite his story. The numbers will remain impressive, but unless the results catch up, he risks being remembered the same way Bradley Beal is, a high-skill scorer who never truly mattered when it counted. And in a legacy-driven league, that's a quiet ending. Salute, much respect. It's your boy JC Stunted Growth, and I'm out.